From the seedy vaults of the Something Weird video archives comes this almost forgotten piece of weirdness from 1969, The Wonderful Land of Oz, which was yet another adaptation of The Marvelous Land of Oz, but this one was made on what is clearly a very small budget, and didn't make a huge splash until Something Weird Video put it out on DVD decades later. And then Riff Trax got a hold of it and brought it to an even wider audience, which is the version that I watched. The Wonderful Land of Oz is a noteworthy example of the difference between good movie and good adaptation. They may sound like the same things, but they are not at all. The 1939 film is a good example of a mostly faithful adaptation that made some deletions and some revisions along the way to make it fit into a 3-act story structure better, and it actually kind of helped to define what 3-act story structures were. This film is a surprisingly faithful adaptation of its source material, but its low budget holds it back from anything close to greatness. Plus, the acting is really flat and wooden. In fact, it's the polar opposite of Shirley Temple's The Land of Oz. Those actors were well-established Hollywood professionals who have all given much better performances. These are clearly amateurs who are admittedly trying their best, but they're just not doing a good job. This film was directed by Barry Mann, who's best known for other really obscure low-budget films such as Rocket Attack USA, Sex Killer, Santa's Christmas Elf, named Calvin, and even some, gasp, nudie films. In fact, there was a persistent rumor that the girls who comprised General Ginger's army appeared in his nudie films, but this isn't the case. Although given the choice of outfits for these girls, it's not hard to see why people would think that. Even though I would never call this movie good, I find it hard to get mad at, mostly because they clearly tried despite their low-budget, wooden acting and overall cheesiness. There's something likable about it despite their obvious limitations. I even found one or two of the songs kinda catchy, especially the song that General Ginger and her girls sing when they're about to take over Emerald City. Overall, I'd recommend watching the Riff Trax version of this movie if you're gonna check it out, mostly because it'll help get you through what otherwise might be a really flat and odd, obscure independent movie from 1969. But it's definitely the right kind of movie for a certain type of person that loves really, really obscure low-budget movies that were saved from the sands of time thanks to companies like Something Weird Video. Speaking of really, really obscure low-budget movies, have you ever heard of a subgenre called Turksploitation? Stay tuned tomorrow as we dive into Turkish Wizard of Oz.